Welcome back to the Chad Hasty Show on News Talk 95.1 FM and 790 AM KFYO. It's time we go to the phones, and joining us this morning, always a pleasure to visit with our next guest, the national spokesperson for the RNC, Liz Harrington. Liz, good morning. How are you today?
Hey, good morning. I'm good. How are you?
Doing great. Appreciate you giving us a shout today. The president held a rally over the weekend. Of course, the news media very excited that not every seat was filled. Of course, they never bring up Joe Biden's lack of rallies or anything else. But the president seemed to really just have a good time, and he was back in his element. It seemed.
He was totally back in his element. It was fantastic. The ratings were through the roof, by the way. And it is so amusing to have the media seem to smirk at and sniff at 12,000 people. And when's the last time Joe Biden got more than 12 people in a room? He doesn't have any enthusiasm, especially during a pandemic. And when there's these radical left-wing groups that are trying to sabotage our events and protest our events, it's truly incredible. And President Trump loves to get out there and just talk directly to the American people. The media will never get it. They've not learned any lesson from 2016, but they do so at their own peril because they're in for a rude awakening because the energy and the enthusiasm, it's through the roof, and it's never been higher.
I guess the president's going to have other rallies coming up in the near future. Do we have anything coming up soon that people can look forward to?
We had looked at several different states. I think they're Republican states that are more moved along in their reopening phase. The Trump campaign will be making those announcements, but the president's also governing, and he's also leading on so many different issues. He had the executive order on police reform last week, and now the Senate Republicans are moving forward with their legislation that's backed by the White House that the Democrats didn't even read it, but they're going to say they're going to try to block it today. So they're blocking solutions for the American people, but President Trump, he's still working for everybody, and he went to Yuma, Arizona yesterday, saw the progress on the border wall, over 215 miles, truly amazing accomplishment given the hostility from Washington. And this choice is so clear, whether it's all of these different issues about what our nation stands for and what our nation is all about, and equality under the law, Democrats are standing in the way. They don't want solutions. They just want to score political points. And President Trump is working every single day to actually give solutions to the American people. Republicans are working on these issues. Democrats are doing nothing except trying to block and use an unruly mob to their political advantage. Well, it's all going to backfire because the American people are watching, and they're waiting for Congress to do something. And Democrats, all they do is sabotage and hurl smears at black senators. It's completely reprehensible.
Well, I mean, one of the latest things, you've got House Speaker Nancy Pelosi who's saying that the Senate and GOP trying to get away with murder in this police reform bill, which is, I mean, how asinine of a statement is that? I mean, it's absolutely crazy, and the Democrats just refusing to work with the Republicans on this.
It's so reprehensible. And she went further than that. She said they're trying to get away with murder, actually the murder of George Floyd.
Jeez.
It's just disgusting. It's so divisive, and it's really, really shameful. And if you want to know who's pulling the strings, that's who it is. It's Nancy Pelosi, who is so radical herself, but is trying to foment this radical base. And they've done this before. She's the one who made Chuck Schumer block the Paycheck Protection Program funding for small businesses, delayed for weeks for no reason other than she was trying to score political points. Same thing with the CARES Act. She put in her ridiculous bill. She delayed that passage for weeks and delayed payments to the American people because she wanted to, stand in front of her $24,000 refrigerator and eat ice cream and have lobbyists write a 1,400-page bill of the Green New Deal and diversity board quotas. It's completely ridiculous. She's standing in the way of so much progress. We could have an adult conversation about so many things that the American people agree on, and Democrats are unwilling to do it. They think that it is better for their political fortunes to stand in the way of the progress of the American people. And they're so out of step. They're so wrong. And they're going to really have a rude awakening on November 3rd.
When you look at Joe Biden, obviously the president during his rally, and I think he was dead on with this, that Joe Biden, he's not Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, but he has moved to the left. And who's going to be really in charge? If Joe Biden wins the White House, who's going to be running the show? Because, and you alluded to this, Nancy Pelosi, is she really running the House, or is it the squad who's running the House? It seems to me if the squad can take over the House, they're going to be taking over the White House if Joe Biden wins.
It's so true. Clearly, he's not going to be making any of these decisions. They won't even let him out of the basement. And he has brought in Ocasio-Cortez as an advisor, and she's going to be running energy policy, which is anti-energy policy. No fracking, no oil, no gas, no nothing. I mean, it's completely so out of touch. It would destroy this economy. But it's really about destroying this country. Look at what the radical left is talking about right now. They are tearing down every statue they can find, statues of abolitionists, statues of heroes who won the Civil War, statues of our greatest founders, Abraham Lincoln, who freed the slaves, and the statue was dedicated by Frederick Douglass. That's what they're tearing down. And where's Joe Biden? Why hasn't Joe Biden condemned this? I mean, we need leadership, they say. They always say, we have to restore the soul of the nation. You're letting this happen, and you're letting your radical movement of your own party do this. Where are you? Is that restoring anything? No. It's all a con. It's all politics. It's all the same thing that he's done for a half a century in Washington, which is say whatever he has to get elected, and then nothing actually happens for the American people. And the only one who gets better off after he's in Washington is his family and his son Hunter. And everyone else that enriches themselves as our jobs went overseas. As he didn't help the black community, when has he ever delivered? And so people understand that, and people are seeing this dividing line. And President Trump is standing up for this country. He's standing up for law and order and fairness and justice and equality under the law. Democrats, they want to tear all that down.
Well, and Liz, I have to say, obviously we see the polling that's out there. It's making headlines every day. This is going to be a totally different election once we get closer to November. And I think I can't wait for the debates. I got to be honest with you. I cannot wait, until they have to bring Joe out of the basement and put him next to President Trump. The difference is going to be so clear. I mean, these polls that we read today, I think they're going to be completely flipped after the first debate.
It's going to be just so clear for the American people. I mean, you have a president who, an outsider, really made history by the first president who hadn't served in government, hadn't served in the military. He did the impossible, became president, and he's had everything hurled against him throughout these less than 4 years. Everything. And look what he's been able to accomplish. And he's stronger than ever. Everything they've tried to throw at him to take him down. And then he's going to be up there against Joe Biden, that has had basically everything handed to him, never worked a day in his life, never accomplished anything. And now at 77 years old, after over 4 decades of failure in the swamp, now he's gonna convince the American people that now's the time to make him president. I don't think so, and I think you're exactly right. There's going to be a disaster for Joe Biden, and the American people like President Trump's accomplishments. They like how he gets things done, and they like how he's willing to stand up for this country when no one else is, and deliver real results to the American people. So I can't wait Joe Biden, I mean, after the first, they've committed to 3. We're going to hold them to that.
Yeah, good luck.
You know they're going to try to get out of them.
Yeah, I'm surprised they committed to 3. I mean, just to be completely honest with
know.
you. Liz Harrington, national spokesperson for the RNC, always a pleasure to visit with you. We'll talk again soon.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. That's Liz Harrington, national spokesperson with the RNC, here on the Chad Hasty Show, News Talk KFYO.